Hello. So if you're watching this video, it's because you want to revise lesson 3.1 or because you were absent and you want to catch up. So we started the class by defining what's a chemical bond, and we recalled that a chemical bond is a force that holds two atoms together. And we were discussing what kind of bonds there are, and we discussed that there is something called an ionic bond. This lesson is about ionic bonds, and an ionic bond is a bond that is formed between a metal and a non-metal atom. So you can open your class kick, and this is the page 1 of the notes, and you can highlight and make notes as you watch. So this will be about how an ionic bond is formed. All right, let's begin by discussing the metals and the non-metals, how they form an ionic bond. Now, metals, they lose electrons. Metals, they lose electrons when they react, okay? And non-metals, they gain electrons. Very important information. Non-metals, they gain electrons. All right, so if a metal is going to lose electrons, it's going to form a positive ion. And if a non-metal is going to gain electrons, it's going to form a negative ion. Okay, positive ion, negative ion. Now, a positive ion, it has a name. It's called cation. And a negative ion, it has a name. It's called anion. Okay, it's very important information. Metals lose, become positive. Non-metals gain, and they become negative. Now, metals lose or gain electrons because they want to be stable like the noble gas. This is the octet rule. This states that atoms lose or gain electrons because they want to be stable like the noble gases. Noble gases are stable. Metals and non-metals are not. So everybody wants to lose or gain electrons to be stable. Noble gases, these are in group 18. Now, let's revise here again the same information, okay? Cations are from metals. Anions are formed from non-metals. Okay, let's make a note of that. So let's look at an example of how a cation is formed. Okay, you can make note of this in your class cake. You have some space. You can put these notes. Let's do an example of a metal. Here's Na. Okay, Na is in group 1, so it has one valence electron. Now, because it's a metal, it's going to lose electrons. How many electrons is it going to lose? It only has one, so it's going to lose one electron. When it loses an electron, it becomes like this, Na plus 1. Do you see that? That's the cation, Na plus 1. Now let's look at the non-metal. The non-metal is like chlorine. Chlorine is in group 17, so it has 7 valence electrons. I'm going to draw 7. Okay? This is empty space here. Has empty space for one more. So chlorine has 7 valence electrons. So what's going to happen when chlorine reacts? So chlorine is a non-metal, so it's going to gain electrons. So chlorine is going to gain 1 electron, and it's going to become chlorine minus 1. And you can draw the new chlorine atom that has 8 electrons. Now, just as a trick, you can know how many electrons an atom will gain or lose depending on the group. So you can see here the group numbers, and you can see here the charge that will be formed from that group. Okay, now group 18 is not in the table because group 18 atoms don't react. They form charge of 0. If you like, you can add that. Okay, so everything in group 1 plus 1, group 2 plus 2, group 13 plus 3. Then we have 15. Minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0. All right, now what does it mean plus 1? What does it mean plus 1? What does it mean plus 1? Because this is a metal, a metal, a metal. And then these are non-metal, non-metal, non-metal. Okay? So these will be gaining of electrons. Gain electron. And these, I'm sorry, that's not right. Sorry about that. Ooh. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Sorry about that. Okay. These are 0. These are metals. And we said metals will what? They will lose electrons. And these are non-metals. These will gain electrons. All right? Now you can go to your class cake and you can solve here in the bottom of the page. The first question is asking you, determine if the following will form cation or anion. Okay, remember, if it's a metal, it will form cation. And if it's a non-metal, it will form anion. So bromine, is it metal or non-metal? It's non-metal. So here you will answer anion. Okay? In question 2, it's asking you, will the following lose or gain electrons? Remember, metals will lose, non-metals will gain. Okay, so here you have sodium. Sodium is a metal. Is it going to lose or gain? Metals lose. So here you can write lose electrons. All right, and in the last question, it's going to ask you, what is the charge that is formed? What is the charge that is formed? So here you have magnesium. Okay, Mg. We want to know the charge. So you need to check. Let's see. Magnesium, where's magnesium? Here's magnesium. It's in group 2. Do you see that? Magnesium is in group 2. So what charge do group 2 elements form? Let's go up and look here. Here's group 2. What charge do group 2 ions form? Here's group 2. What charge do they form? +2. So, okay, so you can answer here. You can write inside this one +2. All right, go ahead and finish your work and let me know that you did it.